Awesome. So here we are on the Lean Coffee board. Um, just to begin off, we thought to inject these three topics. However, if you want to think of adding any more topic, Vihal, if you have anything in your mind about how do we engage leadership, for uh, various reasons, like to get support from there for success
Mhm.
of say projects or processes or people. It could be multiple reasons or products.
Right.
So, do you have any thought process in your mind where you would want to add any card here on Nivarti, even if you think have something we can add more cards here. We currently have ownership, participation, and availability. So, leader being an owner of and accountable for the activities, right? Um, and we need their participation being that owner, and their availability for discussions for various meetings or for presentation of ideas, for being there with the team at times. So it could be multiple reasons we need their availability, right? So these are the three topics which were induced here. Should we add more topics, or are we good to go with these three to begin off?
So, Rohan, are these three topics, can we say all these three topics are collaborate? If we combine all the three topics, then collaboration is the word which comes out of this. Or can collaboration be another topic which we can pick apart from these? Because
Yes,
I
it could.
believe this includes.
What do you think, Nivarti? Can we have a collaboration as one more card here?
Yeah, collaboration could be another one as well, like, because I think these three are can lead to collaboration, but again they may be different as well.
Right. So it could be a mindset, collaboration as a mindset, right? Being ready for that.
Yeah.
So it could be a specific card on its own. So Vihal, would you mind adding it on the board, please?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So we can go ahead with this four, and maybe we can add more later as we move forward. So we can do our voting now, and vote for the topics. So we have three votes. Can select accordingly, like you can use your votes wisely. Okay, so what I'm seeing now is we have all used our votes. So let us start the discussion. What I'm going to do is going to pull the ownership card to discuss first. How many minutes should we give time to the ownership? Nivarti,
5 minutes maybe.
5 minutes. Okay,
So 5 minutes I would suggest from my side.
we can. We have already gone with 5 minutes. That is cool. So,
Okay.
Nivarti, adding this card, can you tell us your views that since you added this card, what was there in your mind about leadership and ownership, and what are the things we should go ahead and discuss? Some open-ended questions or your thought process, please.
Yes. So my thought process there was who owns the transformation, right? So most of the time, probably we as coaches have the feeling that it is for us to drive the transformation, and the ownership for the transformation as change agents lies with us. But the point I have is the ownership for the transformation rests with the leadership of the teams that we are transforming. Because ideally, it is their teams that we are transforming. We are more facilitators than owners. We are driving, or we should be driving their transformation agenda. As a coach, we don't have any agenda on how their team should behave, how their team should deliver, and what should be the outcomes for the transformation or from the transformation. So that vision and definition should come from the leadership, which essentially means they should be the owners of the transformation, and the drive should be coming from them than us as change agents. That was my thought process when I put this point across to say ownership. We want leadership to take ownership of the transformation.
That is a very good
So
thought. And yeah, yes, we are. Please.
I have another aspect to add to this. So, if we are thinking about any transformation or any change, just to put in layman terms, if we are thinking of any sort of change in our personal lives also, or if we are trying to influence some other people's lives also, you know, there has to be some sort of someone has to take that initiative, that ownership, right? And if we are individually taking that ownership of driving that change, then only we will be able to influence other people as well. So at some point you have to stand up and take that onus of doing something. So if we are talking about in terms of the transformation in any organization, definitely it's an ownership, which is the first thing, that okay, I will be the one who will drive this particular process, or I will be the one who will take charge of uh, collaborating people, uh, giving them this kind of thought process. Okay, so that ownership definitely comes into picture there. That was my idea of ownership.
I think what you are saying as a ownership, my understanding from what you said, is as a change agent, we should have ownership.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yes. The thought process, what I meant to say was, who should define what the change should be,
Okay.
right? We as coaches should not be defining what the change should be because it's not our team. We don't own the delivery, neither we own the team, right?
Yeah.
Once definition comes from the leadership, then we take ownership to facilitate that change,
Yeah. Right.
right? So that is my thought process. Was that your understanding as well when you say that
Yeah.
we?
So I think I went ahead with the second point which you said,
Yeah.
right? Once that definition is in place, then the ownership comes into
Oh,
picture.
okay. Yeah. Perfect. Yes. That kind of sums up both thought processes. So when we say ownership, yeah, the definition ownership lies with the leadership. Should lie with the leadership. Once the definition comes through, to make it successful, we facilitate, take ownership to facilitate that.
Yeah. Right.
Absolutely. So, I also wanted to add something to this. So, from ownership perspective, the leadership will definitely be the owners of the change uh, because it's their vision, right? What is the change they want to see, right? So, they are the ones who defining the vision. As change agents, as coaches, we'll have to extend the time. So, can you give your preference, please?
Yes, for me, I think it's an important topic. Maybe another 5 minutes.
Sure. So
Okay.
the it's vision, right? So their vision for change. But as coaches, we should coach them to for them to realize, what is their vision, what do they want? Because leadership, though they are strategic in nature, because they are leaders, right? So-called leaders, but then definitely they are tied up with a lot of tactical things as well, wherein they are not maybe able to always look at, hey, what is the change we need, right? So that is where our coaching stance would come, and we could talk to them and ask those powerful questions to get the vision in place. And once we have the vision in place, and then there is ownership from the leadership, right?
Not
So
essentially.
can I yeah, sorry.
Yeah, please.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
please go ahead.
Go ahead. Go
So
ahead.
I had a I yeah, I just wanted to add something on to what Rohan said. So I think the leadership has a vision, that what change they want to bring in, but we as change agents, what we actually help them with is to formulate these things, right? we bring in our thought process to how to actually achieve this particular vision, right? They have that vision, but they don't know how to drive. They don't exactly know the process behind how to drive that vision to success, right? So that is where we come in. That is where our role actually starts. So yeah, I mean, this was just an extension to what Rohan said. So yeah, I agree. Definitely, there's a vision from their side, and then we come in into picture and we drive that particular change.
Yeah, and also to add to that point is that's absolutely right. How we instill the need for them to take ownership and how we influence that need within them is one
Yeah,
point. And what that would drive or that would take away a lot of other challenges we might face. Once they
right,
understand very clearly that we own the transformation, and means they own the transformation, and the change agents, the coaches are there to facilitate that. Another aspect also, which we, at least personally, have not seen acceptance for, when we talk about them coming up with that vision, everything that comes out is for the team to change.
right.
What we
Yeah,
don't
good
see
point.
essentially is what they need to change, right?
Yeah,
To accommodate or facilitate what the team needs to change. I think that is also something which then drives the ownership as well. But that is something which 99% of the time I have not seen happening. So
right.
that is where again our stance to challenge them to say, okay, you have written probably 10 points or 15 points for the team to change. And if they have to effectively change all this that you are listing out, what is that you think you will need to change?
Right. So there's one quote, very famous quote, right, which we can like it fits into the situation. Be the change you want to see in the world, right? So I think that is what we have to maybe communicate to the higher management that if you want to see the change in the team, you have to change first.
Absolutely, but it is easier said than accepted Vishal, in the practical world. And I
Yeah,
have
yeah,
also heard a statement saying when I did ask the question, what did you need to change? The one of the very good statements I heard was, we are already leaders. So and you don't have,
uh,
you struggle to find an answer to that thing, which means if I'm already a leader, then I do have nothing to change.
yeah, right.
Right. I just faced some problem with my Lean Coffee board, my connection. Basically, I'm getting back on the board.
Yeah,
Yeah, I added vision so many times. I was thinking it was not getting added. So, so, that was an awesome discussion about ownership by the leadership team, and when there is accountability at the leadership, it would give a very inspiring stance to everyone around, right? So. And it will be a top-down approach, which is very important for our transformation. Do we extend the time or we go with the next
uh,
topic?
I
we can go with the next topic.
Yeah,
Yeah, sorry. No, I think Nevati had some other.
I thought maybe we could have extended it another 5 minutes at least to just touch a bit more on this, because there are a lot of intricacies tied up to this point of ownership. At least
Right,
from
I
my
have
point
done
of view.
that. Yes.
Yeah. So, another point I think, again, when we think about leadership taking ownership, it's about one, definitely creating that vision, and second, it's also about what I need to change, and also about definitely getting them that understanding of how can I make my team autonomous, right? So I think that's another thing. All most of the leaders that we interact with know quite well how to delegate tasks, but they struggle in how to delegate authority because we are all attached to authority ourselves. We all want authority. That's a natural human tendency. From that point of view, how you convince them to take ownership for their change as well. I think that's where our role as coaches plays in quite a bit to consistently have those interactions and be open to challenge them from time to time, right? So I think and probably it makes a merit to understand what does coaches need for it to happen in the context of this topic. And that's why I thought it will be good to spend few more minutes. We spoke much about what leaders need to do, but what do we need to do as coaches to influence those leaders? Would that be a good point to discuss as well within the scope of this?
Yes, sure,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. So that would be the second point of our discussion, right? So
Yeah.
So, like if we have spoken about ownership, what we could do is we can park this into discussed and maybe add one more topic which is more interesting and we just spoke about that how do we engage leader as coaches, right, for them to take the onus or think about taking ownership, right? So we can do that from a lean coffee board perspective. Then we'll be ending one topic.
Okay. Sure.
All right, so good discussion on ownership, and I'm going to add a topic as coaches help the leaders who
Rohan, can we use the light mode rather than the dark mode? It's
sure
pretty dark.
understand accountability, right? So I would say understand ownership and accountability of transformation. I'll do that. We have right away.
Yeah, sure. Thank
Okay.
you.
Here we go. I'll continue the discussion, and this is an interesting connected topic. So I'm going to pull that. Can we go ahead with 5 minutes to begin with?
Yeah,
All right.
sure.
Here we go. So, as coaches, how do we help the leaders to understand their accountability? So, Nivarti, this came to your mind. So, can you give some ideas around why you thought this is important, right? And uh, how should we go about?
Yeah. My thought was again why it came up was yes, it's interesting to always wanting the leaders to take ownership as part of the transformation agenda, but how as coaches, because the primary starting position for leaders would be command and control. That's what we assume with, right? To as a start. So if that is the case, then how we as coaches do what is required, what skills should we display or build for that to happen? That was the thought going through my mind.
Okay. So, connecting to the last discussion that the ownership and the accountability would always remain with the leader, but I think the leader may fear from a trust perspective that what if I let go things and they start breaking, right? So that could be one of the thought process in with the leader for delegating their authority, right? So this is connected to what we discussed just a bit before, uh, that the accountability would remain with them, but there could be delegation of authority and resulting into decentralized decision making by the team, making them autonomous is could be a way to go, right? From command and control to making autonomous teams. So
One question, Rohan, again. Are we referring to what leaders should do, or are we referring to what coaches should do?
okay,
Because
so
the topic is what is about what we
right,
as coaches should do.
right, absolutely. So I think this is the stance of the leaders, and why I said that is because unless we understand the mental models or the mentality of whom are we dealing with, right? It would be maybe difficult to ask the right powerful questions to them for making them take the right path, isn't it, Nivarti? What do you think, Vihal?
Yeah, Vihal, what do you think? What skills or competencies that we as coaches should exhibit or develop, right, for us to be in a position to influence, challenge, or not empower, enable the leaders to display ownership or take
So
ownership.
one big thing which I feel is very important as a change agent is persuasion skills.
Mm.
How much are you able to persuade a person with your conversation? So that becomes very important. And second are the influential skills. How, like, whatever you try to say, you have to support that with some facts, or that is very important. You have to have some facts and some practical examples of success whenever you are trying to propose something to the leadership, right? So you have to support that your statement with strong examples. Okay, I have seen this change here, and this is how we try to bring in that kind of change, and uh, this is what the result has been. So if you have those kind of things, and so it will be easy for you to convince them, or rather bring them onto the same table, and everyone would be aligned in that way. So we talk about the concept of alignment, right? So that is very important there. So that is what I feel, like,
Yeah,
if I want to
influence,
uh,
persuasion, great 2 points, and probably I would also add courage. Courage
yeah,
also
right.
is greatly needed because as you go up in the value chain and talk to senior leaders, if you are not courageous enough to present the right thing to do, then I think again it we will probably lose out on the outcome that we are looking for.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
What else could be, things that we are looking at?
Can we say transparency also? Like,
Absolutely,
uh,
yeah. And one of the major things I think is we need to build trust with the leadership. They
yeah,
need to trust you first, right? So you are credible enough, or you can be trusted, and that is when your ability to influence them starts. Without developing trust, I don't think we'll be able to progress the start of
right.
relationship itself.
Absolutely. So for building trust, there may be some good amount of time the coach should have within the organization and team, uh, right? So with your experiences, Nivarti, like from a perspective of coaching, where their coaches do consultancy. So how do they deal with this kind of challenges?
So again, building trust. When we say trust, what we understand from the professional coaching community as well, and practically when you see that trust is consists of three things. If you have to build trust, you have to look at three things definitely. One is your credibility, how credible you are. Right? So that is the first thing for sure. Then second thing is reliability. Okay, you have credibility, but how much I rely can I rely on you, right? For you to be able to get the outcomes for me. And third thing is the intimacy part. How much we are into our relationship, right? These are the three factors which positively influence the ability to build trust. And the last but not the least, which is again, is self orientation. This is negative. The more time you are focusing on yourself to say, I want to be proven as a good coach, I don't think you will be able to build trust with the other person. It's all about how you can be making the other person into the best version of themselves, or organization orientation we call, team orientation we refer to, right? So if you look at these two elements and focus on these points to say, yes, I am here as a coach with the interest to drive outcomes for the organization or for your team or for you as an individual, than for myself. It's not about my success as a coach. It's about your success as a leader, your team's success in the transformation. I think those are the four elements. If we concentrate, then building trust becomes much easier. And to your point, how the consultants are able to do it, one, they get the credibility from themselves individually or from the organizations they come from. If someone tomorrow comes and tells you, I am from ThoughtWorks, 70% of credibility is taken care of, right? Irrespective of what the capabilities are, the brand carries that value. McKinsey's the or you talk about ThoughtWorks in agile world, for example, right? So that credibility automatically comes to you. If someone comes and says, "I have presented 10 talks in agile conferences in Agile Alliance conference," you will know that to get through that stage, you probably would have spent a lot of time and lot of energy, and also knowledge has gone into it from my experience. So
True.
they
Very
get the credibility from that,
Right.
and that credibility automatically builds reliability. And when these two are there, people tend to connect with you much faster than they would do with the other person who doesn't have these two. Right? So intimacy gets built automatically. Then you just need to take care of the negative part, not focusing on yourself, but focusing on the organization you are dealing with. That is where consultants play a, probably get it much faster in terms of developing that trust, not just for agile but even for any other things that we want to see, KPMGs or the PwCs or the McKinseys or the ThoughtWorks. They give you that credibility that you need to start the relationship at a very higher level. But when a coach in the organization speaks the same thing, leaders would not value that much as against somebody coming in from McKinsey or a ThoughtWorks. That's my experience.
absolutely. No, that was an excellent point because that's what struck me. The in-house coaches would stay within the organization, have their patients to observe the environment around them, spend some months or maybe years to get settled and build that trust and credibility. But it was an awesome pointer, right? You got on the table.
Yeah,
Uh,
but then for in-house coaches to do that, then how much you are building your brand that you can bring in as your credibility and reliability, not just working in the system but even outside, and that then creates an impact internally as well. So
right,
it's both,
absolutely.
both outside
I
and
think
up.
one more important sorry, one more important aspect to this is knowledge. Right? The kind of knowledge you are trying to you can try to bring in to the organization, right? So and the kind of knowledge sharing which happens, because even if you are not from uh, a branded organization, or and if you are an internal coach, but you have a vast knowledge which can support your cause, then I believe you are equally good as a person coming from outside and trying to change the organization for betterment. So knowledge for me also is very important.
Absolutely. My intent when I said that was they probably make it get it much easier than
Yeah, yeah,
us as internal coaches. You have to prove your knowledge. You have to
yeah.
prove your experience for you
Right.
to reach that stage, and even then you may not reach that stage because of the levels of hierarchy existing in the system, right? Whereas it,
Right.
again, if you speak practically and pragmatically, someone who is at a very high level in an executive, for them to accept a coach who probably is has joined many more levels below, it becomes a question of their I don't find any other word but ego as well, right? But for them, it makes it much easier to accept somebody from a consultancy because they look up to them based on their brand. This is a practical thing I personally see. I'm not
Absolutely.
sure.
But Nivarti, that's what we are trying to change as
Absolutely,
change agents, right? That's
absolutely,
the thought process we are trying to change.
absolutely right. And that's what I said. For us to do that, then we have to establish and create that branding, the where
Yeah.
you gain that credibility and reliability.
Right.
Correct, correct.
Right.
Absolutely. So, coming back to the point with in-house coaches, right? And we spoke about connecting back to the knowledge point, what you got on the table, we had. So,
Yeah.
what sometimes may happen that the coaches have a lot of knowledge, right? However, giving passing that on to the teams or to the
Yeah.
organization is becomes a tremendous bigger challenge, because imagine we are giving knowledge to someone, and it's being poured onto them, and what they will try to do is make their way out of all that information, right? So as coaches, how do we sustain into the system, and how do we tie tie up or partner with our people or teams to for them to sustain it in a sustainable way, take that knowledge, implement on ground, run with it, come back, and iterate through
Yeah.
the journey, right? That is an interesting proposition, isn't it, Nivarti? You're on mute.
Absolutely, I think that's key as well, right? So, how you then create that flow and sustain that flow as well, and sustain the relationship also. Uh, that's again a great point, and it would be quite interesting again to see how we progress on that. What can we do to progress? Any thoughts, between you both?
So, like when you say sustainably progress, um, do you mean that how can we, make it a DNA of an organization rather than, making it an event? Is that what you are saying, Nivarti?
Yeah, sustenance should be by design, right? Sustenance is not an exception. So, but I always say this, and you will hear me talking about every time. Sustenance should not be an afterthought. You start with sustenance because it takes as much time or more time to build sustenance than implementing the change itself. And if you don't
Right.
think
So
the
I've heard
moment
this.
Rohan move out of
So I've
the
heard this. Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry. Please complete your thought. Yeah. Sorry.
No, it's okay. What I was saying was the moment coach goes out, right? Rohan moves out or Vihal moves out, the team will come back to the square one. And next time you go and want to make a change, you will
Yeah.
probably spend 3 times more effort and energy than what you did the earlier time.
Correct.
Exactly. So I have had this kind of experience wherein I was part of an organization wherein I tried to bring in this kind of change. We were implementing Agile and Scrum there, and the moment I stepped out of that organization and I came to know from people who I knew from there that it's back to square one now, and people are not no more. So it's like there were not much people to support me there, and I was the only one driving that. So it happens, right? And you're not able to build that sustainable solution. So I've heard this quote with many of the companies building sustainable solutions, right? That's the motto they have. So I think that exactly covers your point also, that any change we bring in, it should be sustainable. Otherwise, there's no point of doing that change. So yeah, definitely agree on that.
Okay, I think that's good. Nice to see
So
a lot of synergies.
we have 1.5 minutes before we could get into conclusion and retrospective. So um, if we can extend this discussion like from um, the knowledge, and I think we pivoted towards how can a coach actually create a sustainable learning environment within the organization is what we were discussing. Just to also add to that, there should be again leadership support there and engaging the leadership for help for blocking the time of our people for learning, and blocking that capacity of people for learning is one of the major aspects, and the leadership support we may require as coaches, right? Nivrati, what is your thought?
Two things, right? You cannot enforce learning. It has to be learning has to be voluntary. So, which essentially means again the influencing skills come through. If you can create that value and showcase that value of transformation, and that will only happen again if the leadership is part of it, if the system is within the change, not outside the change, and if that is when people will see the value of the change itself. If the system is outside the change, you are only changing people, it won't work, right? So that is where again system and people and leadership, everybody needs to be connectively changing, and that is when learning can automatically happen. Then you don't need to ask people to spend time to learn. It would be more, they will be coming to you and saying, okay, I need to spend time on learning. How can I get 1 hour, out of my time? Or they will find ways to find time as well. You are doing this session because you are finding value, right? Outside of your work or outside of your effort that you normally put. So if you find value, you will find time. How you showcase that value to the people in the organization is what matters.
Yeah. Right.
You have nailed it down, Nivrati. It is the fact. No matter if you give a day of learning to the people every week, but then if they are not tuned or inclined uh, towards it and do not have a purpose, it's not going to fly,
You
right? So
can take a horse to the well, you cannot make it drink water. It's as simple as that.
awesome discussion. So um, we have run out of time for the discussions with this session, and we can conclude that what we talked about, and we could take a couple of minutes for that, and then move towards retrospection.
Yeah, I think it was
So
great learning again to hear views from Vihal and you, and lots of learnings to take.
yes, same here.
So
One more
definitely,
point I had in mind. Maybe can I see that?
Yeah, yeah,
yes,
please.
yes,
So
please, we have.
so there's one value of Scrum, which is openness, right? And I see there's another aspect of that openness, being, the knowledge which you have, or if you're trying to, teach something to someone, you have to be open, right, in sharing your thoughts. You can't keep it to yourself. You can't keep that kind of knowledge to yourself, and that way you will not be able to influence people in any way, right? So that openness definitely becomes important. So,
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. I think transparency and openness are key to influencing.
so in a nutshell, if you see, yeah, yeah, right. So
Without
that's that thought I
transparency
had
and
in mind. So that's what
openness,
I want to
right,
say.
you cannot influence people.
Exactly. Right.
Absolutely. So, Vihal, what you just said reflects leadership. So, leadership as a term doesn't mean that, someone who is CXO and they are leaders. I believe a person who has
Yeah.
passed out of college and who is a fresher into an organization can also become a leader. If he
Yeah.
portrays these values, right, of openness, transparency, and doesn't neglect what he sees which is wrong, but then comes up and discusses on the table, right? So they are all leaders. So definitely,
Yeah.
it's a
But then,
great.
as change agents and as Scrum Masters and Agile coaches, it becomes important that we provide that kind of environment to the folks, right? Who are who are
Absolutely.
to our fellow members, right? So that becomes important from
Now,
our perspective.
one small correction, that I have, and I think I don't provide. We can't provide that environment as Scrum Masters and coaches. We can try to see how we enable that to happen.
Yeah, right.
It's difficult for us to
So,
provide because
right.
when you say
Uh,
provide, you have a sense of authority,
yeah.
right? So we
So
don't
I think
want.
the intent was right, but I chose wrong words.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
definitely. Thanks for correcting me. Yeah.
That's what I mean. It's very
Yeah.
important
Yeah.
to choose the right words in the context of
Yeah.
change.
Right.
True.
Otherwise,
Very true.
Exactly.
people will tend to again then think differently because our intent
Right.
nobody understands. They will go by what we are speaking, rather than the
Right.
intent.
That was a very right
Yeah.
right thing.
Totally agree.
Perfect. So, okay, so that was a very good conversation. I have just opened up a notepad here. Quickly, we can do the retrospective of the meetup. So, Nivarti, can we stop the recording now so that it remains more of the discussion related to the topic?
Yes, sure. I think before that, is it okay we do the retrospective for the session and then go for the other one?
Um, no,
When I say that, my point was, is there
uh
anything we could have done differently for this session
right.
to be better?
So right, so that's what we could do a retrospection, and I'm going to facilitate that, right? So uh, we can use maybe start, stop, continue. That can be one of the simplest way of putting the thoughts on the ground,
Yeah, I think that will help definitely.
right? So and my suggestion is we can go with one pointer at one time and discuss within the forum and add the pointers here. So, what do you think we should start doing more?
So I will go with collaboration. Maybe if you are not doing that, maybe try and bring as much people, as many people as possible together, and uh, discuss. Maybe start with discussions, simple discussions, talking to each other more often. So I will pick collaboration.
Okay. So when you say that, you mean more from the community perspective, right?
Yeah, more from the community perspective also. Exactly. So if more people join in here, and we collaborate more thought process come in to the table. We have we have a lot more to discuss. So many different conclusions on the table, and so much to think of. Then, right? Uh, when we go, when we take this session with us, and there's so much perspective you build after that. So definitely.
Definitely.
Collaboration is what I feel is important.
So I've noted that down, enable collaboration, and for that, trying and getting more people for the meetups, right? Another thing I would say is we should have a better way of evangelizing the community. Um, no, at this moment, me and Nivarti posted into the uh, group, and then we did a couple of posts. But then, there should be more, uh, engagement of the community with the people, right? We on LinkedIn or Facebook or any other medium. Um, maybe more posts. So we had two posts for this, right? So maybe we would try with more posts in near future, right? To get more people in, which will enable collaboration. Definitely.
And also, I think those posts should be specific to the topic. I think we put more generic posts only with the topic. Probably, can we engage some ideas on the topic itself so that the community is more interested and keen to participate? So,
Okay.
in let's say we talked about leadership engagement as a topic, we could have put some posts around the leadership engagement
Hmm.
as a topic to influence the thought process of being here.
So add the posts related to the themes we are trying to.
Yeah, correct. Correct.
All right. Awesome. So we just discuss about
One
anything.
more thing, can we try and maybe ask people in before having this session, what time will suit for maximum people? Maybe can that help? Just a thought.
Survey. Do you mean that if we can
A poll,
send messages to people and survey that if
LinkedIn
we are
poll,
doing
Yeah. Sorry, Nivati.
a LinkedIn poll.
a LinkedIn poll?
Yeah.
That is a good idea.
Right.
In poll for understanding best time, right, for the community events. Okay. So we could pivot to stop now. What should we stop doing?
For me, I think it's too early to identify the stop.
Yeah. Same here. Even I am thinking, and I'm not able to find something
Nothing coming to my mind because
commendable.
it's more we should try and enable it rather than and it's okay to fail. So at this point it's like not here. So too early to stop doing anything, right? Okay, what should we continue doing?
More engagement. We can continue doing that.
More engagement of people.
And Nivati, you're on mute.
So what I meant is that would probably in the start. So continue the engagement that we currently are doing.
Yeah, right. So we can attempt more engagement, right? So
Yeah.
we can attempt more engagement, but what Nivati is getting on the table is um, uh, perseverance, I believe, right?
Yeah. Persistence.
Persistence, persistence. With the current, initiatives.
Current initiatives. Yeah.
I should think. I think from starting, we should also plan more often, and at least have a plan for 1 quarter.
Yeah.
Maybe not 1 quarter, a month, 2 months to begin with, and then at least have this cadence of
I think
planning.
we did discuss that. So community engagement cadence needs to be created.
Right. And maybe some sort of preparedness before, coming for these sessions. Maybe have some thought process, some topics in mind which we can pick for discussion. Any specifics, or
Yeah, I think that will
or
fall into
will we?
the ad posts related to themes, Vihan.
Okay. Okay.
So themes is what we could when we say that we build engage. Okay, so plan. I'll say engagement cadence and plan. So when we plan this, we would think about themes that in this particular months we do lean coffees, and then after 15 days we will do agenda based meeting and live session on LinkedIn, and there could be multiple themes we can select in advance. Think about it. That will happen.
Okay. Sure.
Sure. So I think we have 2 minutes now, and we should conclude the meeting. What I think, and so that we get some time to get back to work with other meetings or with family. I think Nivarti is like